Sup, night viewer. Now, a couple weeks ago, I had just beaten this game, Assassin's Creed Bloodline, for the PSP, and my overall experience with this game is that it's really, really good. I mean, the storyline, the plot, overall, it's a real good game for the PSP. I highly recommend you guys going out there and get your copy if you don't have one. It's the gameplay, everything is just really, really good. I mean, you know, like I said, you know, since I finally beat it and completed, you know, I've been playing other games here and there, but it overall was real good. Now, the purpose of this video is not just to really do a review. It's because, you see, a couple nights ago, I was hanging out with a couple people, and one guy, you know, I was informing him about, you know, that I had beaten Assassin's Creed Bloodline for the PSP. And I told him the same thing I told you guys. It was a real good game. It was awesome. I enjoyed it. You know, it was just overall a real good game. Now, he was surprised because he told me that, well, a game magazine he read, I don't remember what game magazine it was, said that this game was crap. It was bad. And I was like, what? You know, I was surprised. I was, you know, didn't really understand, you know, how this game was crap. So I asked him, what did he mean? You know, well, basically, what did they mean? And he said, well, they compared it to the other two Assassin's Creed game, and they said it was more like the weaker of the three. And that's when I didn't go on a rant, but I debated with him, even though I was mostly doing the talking, and I proved some good points and stuff like that, to the point where he basically agreed with what I had to say. Now, I figured I just shared my opinions of what I said the other night. I don't remember exactly word for word what I said, but I do know the majority of what I was talking about. Now, let's take a look at the PSP for once before I start. As you can see, I have a PSP 3000 series. You can't really tell, but, you know, my PSP. Now, the PSP and the PlayStation 3, or the PS3 for those of you, are two different consoles. Yes, they are both made by Sony, and yes, they both carry this PlayStation name. But they are still two separate consoles. My thing is, how is it that you compare a game that was made for a PSP to a game that was made for a PS3? Now, I don't own a PS3 currently, so I don't have anything to compare it with. But here's my point. The PSP UMD disc, it does has information on there, you know, the game information, it could have music information, whatever. Due to the size of the disc, it can only hold a certain amount of information. Now, here's what I'm going to do, you know, for size comparison. You know, forget about the game, let's look at the size. Here is a Nintendo GameCube game. This is a game Baten Kaido, but that's not the point. Look at the size of the two discs. You probably could get a little more, if not same, as the PSP here, except you know, due to the size, you get more out of this game. Now, I'm going to also bring in my PS2 game. This is a Metal Gear Solid 3 for PlayStation 2. Now, let's look at the size of these two discs. Yeah. So, obviously, you know, case in point, this holds more information than this due to the size. But, now, like I said, I don't have a PS3, but we can all agree that the PS3 disc is about the same size, maybe a little thicker than this PlayStation 2 disc. So let's pretend this is actually a PS3 disc. You know, forget about that PlayStation 2 symbol that you see down there. Now, for those of you that don't know this, or for those of you that do own a PS3, correct me if I'm wrong. The PS3 discs are Blu-ray discs. Now, for those of you that, you know, may not be electronically, you know, moderate. Blu-ray discs are right now the highest quality discs that we have going on today. The reason why the Blu-ray disc is top of the line is not just because, you know, on the bottom of the disc, whether it's a movie or a game or whatever you have the Blu-ray for, if you scratch the bottom of the disc or bite on it, or, you know, there's smudges on it or whatever, it will not interfere with the disc capability of transferring information to the electronic equipment, meaning that you can still play the game, you can still play music, and you can still watch a movie regardless how badly scratched or smudges or whatever is on the other side of the disc. But that's not the point for this information. The Blu-ray disc, not only that, it holds more information than any other disc combined. The Blu-ray disc can hold thousands and thousands and thousands of gigabytes or more, or whatever they use nowadays. It has so much spaces that it can hold so many information. It's beyond me. Like, for example, say you have like 10 iPods, and you actually fill all those iPods with music, video, and some games. I actually heard you can actually put games on iPods, which I don't know, but say you fill all 10 of them up, completely full stack, no more space left in those iPods. Combine them together, you can put all that information into a Blu-ray disc, and guess what? The Blu-ray disc still has space left for you to add more information on it. You can even add, you know, with those 10 iPods, more games, like say about 15 games added onto there. You know, whether it's from, you know, emulators or old games, arcade games, you know, whatever. Like you download the games onto it, or more music or whatever. It will still have enough spaces to hold more information. Now, why compare a Blu-ray disc to a UMD disc is beyond me. Because obviously the PlayStation 3 games are always going to be somewhat higher and beatable compared to the PSP game. Because the UMD disc can only hold a certain amount of information and so much. And, you know, compared to the Blu-ray disc, it seems like it's a baby. But it's compatible enough for the PSP to bring out more gameplay. So my thing is, I don't understand why these game magazines would compare a PSP game to a PS3 game. Because the UMD can only hold so much information. Now, here's another thing. I don't always go by the gamers, you know, magazine ratings or whatever. I always like to go out by my experience, because everybody's different. We all have different tastes in games and quality. Some of us are very picky about graphics. Some of us are very picky about the storyline. We all have big different preference when it comes to, you know, what we want out of a game. For these game critics, you know, that's in a game magazine that work for them, some of them don't even play these games. Some of them probably play like a demo. I'm not saying all of them. Like I said, keyword is some of them will play like a demo of this game. Write down, you know, what they feel are probably negative about the game. Have it saved in their profile and wait till the actual game come out, and then take the profile up and upload it into a column or whatever and have it printed on the magazine. Some of these guys don't even play games to even rate it, but they'll just go by, you know, word of mouth. Well, not word of mouth from other gamers, just word of mouth from other magazines, saying, oh yeah, you know, I played it, I thought it was crap. So, like I said, I don't always go by what the game magazine says. I always go by experience, or I will go and ask other gamers like myself, you know, if there's a game that they have that I don't have, and I'll ask them, hey, what you think of that game, or how's the gameplay or whatever, and they will basically describe their experience to me. Now, like I said, it's beyond me. It makes no sense to compare Assassin's Creed Bloodline for the PSP and compare it to Assassin's Creed and Assassin's Creed Bloodline for the PS3, due to the fact the difference is all in the discs. Well, that's all I have to say. Until then, later.